Hey family, how you doing? And welcome to Aroundtown.live. I'm Dr. Liz Black, and I am looking forward to chatting it up with you all today. Make sure you are telling someone, anyone, a friend, a family member, tell them to come on and join us because we're going to have an interesting time today. We'll be sharing some information. You can see all my social media handle, including Cash App, if you want to be a blessing at any time. And make sure you go into LizBlackLive.com. All right, come on. It's time to check in before I bring our guests on. Okay, I can only imagine that this is probably a family member of the pastor that I'm about to bring on. Welcome, Chris. Good to see you. Thank you. You ready to go? All right, let's go. Come on, y'all. Check in. I see you on. Check in. Say hi. Let me know who you are. We are streaming on 3 Facebook pages. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I don't even want to say X, but that's where we are. And also on Instagram. So welcome, everyone. We're happy to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We're going to have a great conversation, share some information. Good to see you all. What's up, Monique? You always make it on. Brian, thank you for the fire because it's going to be fire today. What's up, Crystal? How y'all doing? Oh, so good to see y'all in the house today. Wonderful. Now, you know, if you share this to your page, it's going to air on your page. And this is the type of topic that we want everybody to know about. We want everybody to be free. And we want everybody to know that Jesus is Lord and that he can deliver. Hallelujah. I already know it's going to be exciting up in here today. Thank you, everybody, for checking in. Nothing but love. Okay, let's get right to it. Today, we're gonna talk about a topic, addiction. Yeah, you see the book From a Child of an Addict Child to a Child of the King. That's really very deep. We're going to share today. We're going to talk. I want to welcome to the show Pastor Pasha Pernell. Welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Dr. Liz, it is a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It is great to see you. You're looking great. I want to thank you for having me. It's amazing. I'm so thankful to be here. And Yahweh bless you for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to have you. You know, a lot of people don't know my testimony. It's not, you know, that I had a parent that was addicted, but I was addicted myself. So when I can come for, oh yeah, I smoked crack for 10 years. Only God, you know what I'm saying? And then put me on the airways to speak about his grace and his goodness. Don't get me started yet. We can't do it yet, Pastor Pasha.
Hey, so, you got to get it started right quick, fast, in a hurry. Right. That's amazing. Woo! That's amazing.
I gotta tell you, when I saw, he's preserved me for what he has me to do, and he's obviously has preserved you also, because it's not easy having a family member, especially your father, I believe it is, that oh wait, I had to put this up. Go mom.
That's my baby. How, hey, Timmy?
Timmy is on, giving her mom some love. Timmy, welcome. It's nice to have you on. I'm trying to get there. So many people are showing you love and have checked in. What's up, Tony? Yeah, we've got a full house on tonight. So I'm asking that you all share because we will be sharing a lot on today. Information that's going to bless you, set you free, be able to help others if you see in the situation where they have a member of their family that is addicted. I'm just getting through all these names because everybody is here tonight. Thank you everyone for checking in. I'm even going to give you a chance later if you have a question for Pastor Pasha. You can be more than happy to answer your question. You know, if you know somebody, y'all out there that may be addicted to drugs or alcohol, give them the link to just come on and hang out with us a little bit today,
Yes,
because we don't know what
yes,
God is going to do in the midst of everything. Pastor Pasha, your book is entitled "From a Child of an Addict to a Child of a King." Can we just, without giving the book away, because we want people to buy the book.
yes, yes, we do.
We
Yes, we
want
do.
them
Because
to purchase the book. But we want to find out, your story, and tell us, when did this all start for you? When do you remember this change that has happened and maybe you didn't know it was a change. You were a child in it, I'm sure.
yes, first I gotta say hello to my husband, babe. That's the bishop. We all love you,
Bishop.
Dr. Black. I gotta say that.
We
Gotta
love
say
you.
that Dr. Chris is on. That's my sister-in-law who you were speaking of. She first came on. She carried us through the
Okay.
pandemic. I wanted to thank her for that. Bet Hashem Yahweh is in the
Praise
house. We remember meeting
God.
you at Circles of Sisters. Yah Squad is definitely in the building. I love you
Yes,
guys. Thank you for the support. And we love you. So I had to get that
I love you
in there
too.
first and foremost because we are
Yes.
honored to be here. Because once again, Yah has brought our paths together. Now, with that being
Again.
said, you know, the journey starts when you're first introduced to the addiction. And that started when I was younger and I didn't even know I was being introduced to addiction. I just remember suffering because of it. And so when you're
Yeah.
young, you don't see the addiction as it is for what it is, but you just of what the addiction does to you based on your parents' behaviors. My dad wasn't in my life. His mother was a very instrumental part in my life. I love her like beyond the moon. She was my dad for me and my brother. My dad had an addiction from a very, very early age. And I found out once I was writing the book. I actually asked my mom a few questions. But you grow up in a single family home, a lot of things you don't understand that's take place or why they
Yeah.
take place. But when you have a
Yeah.
parent um, that is addicted to whether it be substance abuse, alcoholism, whatever it is, because there are plenty of addictions out there, but addictions are selfish. And so they take you away from your loved ones because all the addiction have you do is please it. And so,
Yeah.
everything came to a head when I had to bury my dad. So that's where
Okay,
the real
wait, hold
journey.
it. Wait, hold it. I want to go back and ask you one question. You said
Absolutely.
that your father's mom was in
Yes.
your life all the time. And did you call her grandma? You call her
Oh my
ma? I
God.
mean, because
Yes.
you
I called her
you said
grandma.
you called her grandma. Okay. I just wasn't sure because obviously you had a very close relationship with her. Was she in the church? Were you in the church as a child?
Yes, I grew up in church as a child. Actually, my grandmother was the first person who ever spoke ministry over me. It was when
Hmm.
she lost her first son, and she had family members over at her house. And I remember she brought me over to introduce me to my grandfather's two sisters. They were from New York, and she said, "This is my granddaughter," and she said she's going to be a minister. And I
Amen.
was
Wow.
probably like 10 years old, and
You
so
what
it
did you
was
think
amazing.
about that? When she said you're going to be a minister, was it like you brushed it off? Did you feel something then?
I felt it because I was raised already in ministry, as far as going to church and not really being a part of ministry, but going
Right.
every week and just, experiencing what it's like to be a church and kid, not a kid in church, not really,
Yes.
being trained or anything. But when she said it, I knew that it was the Holy Spirit, because it was like, no, she sees it. She sees something in me. And not that I wanted to be a minister. I just embraced it because I loved her. So like, oh, she said I'm gonna be a minister.
And
Okay.
so I'm gonna be a
All right.
minister. And she was such an important part in your life. So I want to go back. You talked about the change really happened, or you had an understanding. Obviously, your father is not here.
Growing up, I didn't have my dad the way I wanted to. And recently I told someone, because I was invited to an NA meeting on Zoom. And I was
Hmm.
telling them that it wasn't so much that I was a daddy's girl. I was just a fan of his. I really loved him just because he was my dad. I thought he was cool. He was a part of a
Yeah.
singing group, North singing group, very famous in Newark, the Silver Stars. And I just loved him because he was my father. It's like his style was cool. He was
Yeah.
just, everything about him was I
He was
need
your
you to be
daddy.
and
Yeah.
that wasn't the case, that wasn't the case. I saw him, a few times over the years. I saw him mostly at his mom's house, because whenever I would be with my grandmother, she would call him and she would say, look, your kids are here. You have to make sure that you come and see your kids. And so, to this day, I have chimes on my bathroom door, because at my grandmother's house,
She
whenever the
had
chimes would
times.
ring, whenever the chimes would ring, we look for my dad. We go running because she said
Wow.
dad's coming. So no matter what time of the night it was, those chimes ring, we go running, and there you will be. But yes, so she was very, very instrumental in our lives because she cared. She wanted us to know our dad, regardless of what was happening.
Yes. And you know what, Pastor Pasha, because of the addiction that he had, he probably just really needed her to give guidance because, I don't know how involved he was with the alcohol, but the fact that he was able to come and he still listened to her, I believe she was a very powerful woman.
Yes, and he was actually a heroin addict. Um, the most humbling thing I would see is whenever my dad was over to visit my grandma, he would sit there on the floor next to her and he would just talk to her
Wow.
for hours. He would just sit there and he would talk to her for hours. And we were little, so we would keep coming back to make sure he didn't leave, and just sit there
Yeah.
and talk to her. And so she was pouring into him. She was pouring into him. But, most of all, I believe that she just really wanted him to know, look, we're all here for you. We love you. We support you, and your children are here. They're not asking you for anything. They're not looking for you to give them money. They just want you to be here to love them. And I think
Yeah.
that's what most kids want. They
They
just want you
do.
to be here to love them. And that
Yes.
that meant more to me than anything. It's like I didn't need your money as much
I
as I
just needed
just wanted to
you.
see you every day.
Do you feel like there was um a big piece missing, or do you feel like your grandmother and having him come over, even though it may not have been as much as you'd like, you still had a chance to have a piece of your dad?
I was very grateful for him to come because of what she did. She would always call him. I mean, she didn't care what time of the night it was. If he didn't answer her during the day, she was going to call him that night. And so she was always, she just wanted us to be happy. Whenever we were there, she knew we wanted to see him. And so
Hmm.
that was her making it happen. She'd say, Larry, your kids are here. You just come see your kids. They're here and
Yeah.
they're looking for you. They're looking for you. And he will honor his mother in that way. And I don't care if it was 2 or 3 in the morning, he'd show up. He'd show up.
Amen.
Yeah, he'd sleep right next to me on the couch because you know how it is in the families, black families. They got people stretched out everywhere
Mhm.
when you spend
That's
the night.
right. Sleep where you can.
So you can. And so, you know, I would sleep in the living room, and he would come in and he lay right there until morning. So that was, I take every piece of what I had from my dad,
Yes.
and I'm thankful for it. And
Uh-huh.
I never make up stories about my dad being the perfect father or anything like that. I just,
Right.
I know who I was supposed to be in his life. And
Do
so
you
I'm grateful
did
for
you
that.
ever see him under the influence of heroin?
Now, Dr. Liz, let me tell you something. Um, the one and only time that I've ever experienced it. Before this time, it was always speculation. It was always stories coming from family members about
Yeah,
it. And until I experienced it, I never really believed it because it was like, yeah, okay, maybe, but I've never seen it. So,
that's
okay.
right. Mm-hmm.
But it was one Saturday afternoon because by the time I was in high school, I made the effort to go see my dad. I was with my dad because I can now go see him. I didn't have to wait for him to come to me. I would go to him.
Exactly.
And so I would down the weekends because I was doing the pre-college at the NJIT, my brother and I. So long story short, he told me we were going to the movies. And so he said, we're going to go and we're going to spend time together. So I was looking forward to that. And I remember he said he had to use the restroom. So this was 3 in the afternoon, Dr. Black. My dad did not come out of the bathroom until 9 p.m.
Wait a minute, hold it. And you were waiting.
I was waiting. I mean, I had to go to the store a few times because it's like, how much longer he's going to
How
be
much
in there. It
bathroom
was
do you need, huh? 6 hours worth? That's a lot. You okay? What you eat?
exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
And when he came out, he was a different person. So it was the
Wow.
first reality check that I was no longer going to lie to myself and say what I'm being told is false. It was my face to face moment with it, with his addiction. I came face to face with his addiction on that day.
Wow. So it was
And so,
speculation all this time up until your high
yes,
school. And then
right,
this was the first time that you were actually able to see it with your own eyes.
yes. I mean, when I say speculation, you hear it and you in the back of your mind, you like, okay, maybe it could be true. It's not like impossible,
Yeah. Right.
but
But
right. I had never seen it and I had never had to really like deal with it head on. I was kind of like, naive and I just didn't want to
you
face it.
want it. Yeah, you don't want to believe what people are saying because you didn't see it. It's your dad, you love him, and as far as you knew, everything was fine. He was your cool singing dad. But
Exactly.
how did that change you after that?
It just caused me to revisit every conversation that my mom had ever mentioned to me or,
Wow.
you know, things that family members had said jokingly but being mean, because some people say things to be mean, and
Yeah.
a lot of times, I was speaking to Prophetess Jackie earlier, and we were sharing because her mom had an addiction as well. We were sharing, and I was telling her, I was, you kind of ignore things when people say to you and they suffer from the same thing. So you're like, why are you telling me this? Why are you saying mean things to me about my father if you're suffering from addiction? Like I can see
Right.
you every day suffering from addiction, but
Like
are
you
you
got some
telling me
nerve.
this? Yeah, it's like if you're gonna tell someone something, you should be telling them something to either empower them, to help them to heal, to
Yeah.
help them to understand that this is not a path they should take. But a lot of the times that wasn't the case. People were just, they knew how much I loved my dad and they just wanted to give me a reason why I shouldn't love him that
Yeah.
much.
Yes,
So
yes, I get it. From someone being an addict myself, no longer delivered, set free, filled with the Holy Ghost, speaking in tongues. Okay, all that. Okay,
Powerful,
But
powerful.
from someone who had been there, you know how well I knew people were talking about me. I was getting thinner. They
Hmm.
could see I looked different. Wasn't around everyone the same, but
Mm,
everyone just talked. Nobody did anything except one person, one friend of mine. And she said,
mm.
Liz, everybody's talking about you. And I could care less. At that point, you don't care what people
Right,
are
right.
thinking. You just care about your next high. And she is the one that actually took me to church. And the testimony is, I
Mm,
give God all the praise for it. But she was the one that took me to church, and I got saved in a shower in my home because I was dying. You get to
wow.
a place where you have to make a decision that I am going to call on Jesus if
Mm,
someone has presented him to you.
wow.
And I always
Wow.
say that we got to get out of our four walls and we
Yes.
got to let people know that they can be delivered, because when I see your book, it speaks life, and it speaks
Mm,
the ability to teach other people that there is hope in any situation. Because when
that's
you
right.
think about your dad not being able to fulfill the responsibilities that you felt he should as a father or even
Hmm.
as society, but I'm listening to you now, Pastor Pasha. You got a congregation. Y'all are ministering across the world to young people at that.
Yes.
So
Amen.
God has still been able to do miracles. And I think
Yes.
your book is a miracle. It's about miracles.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that's the power in the title. It's a journey. It's a journey because I didn't stay stuck in one place. And I
Yeah.
didn't let anything that I had been through define me of where I was supposed to go. And the only way you can do that is by confessing that Christ is your salvation. When I confessed Yahshua, everything changed for me. I was very lonely when my dad passed away, and he didn't
Mm,
he didn't have a wife, so everything fell on me, and I was only
yeah.
19. And so it's time for the children of the addicts to have a voice, to speak out, not to say
Yeah.
hey and point, but just to say this is factual how it affects us. It did affect us. Not that we're going to hold it against you because you need help too, but it's our right to talk about it in order to heal. You can't heal if you bottle things in. And I think that a lot of people aren't aware that things they keep inside destroy them, no matter what
Mm,
it is. You can't allow something that you went through to destroy you, and you never know who's next to you that needs to hear that in order for them to heal. And so, because of that, is the reason why I wrote the book. Is and the book not dead straight about my father. It's about part of that journey that I went through concerning
yeah.
my dad. It did play a big piece in some of the things I struggled with in my youth, some of the things that I struggled with in my adulthood. But all praises to Yahweh, I made it through. Made it
Did
through.
did you were you ever tempted yourself to try drugs? I mean, we've all look, I don't know. I don't want to say we all have, but I definitely have tried everything.
No, I definitely was not tempted by drugs. I was following the crowd and tried to do marijuana once. And I gave this testimony a couple of years ago. How I don't know. I tried to do marijuana with some friends, and I literally saw the devil. I just
Ah,
I,
amen. It's a good thing you did, right?
I literally saw the devil, and I was
No more of
like,
that.
"You talking about praying at night?" I said, "Please, if you just
Jesus.
make him go away, I will never,
Yeah.
ever try anything else." And
Yeah.
Yahweh made him
Yeah.
disappear, and I never tried marijuana again, nothing. It just, you have very real experiences that causes you to flee some things. Otherwise, you'll be dead. I mean, that's just how I live my life that way. One wrong
Yeah.
move and you're dead. You don't get to come from that.
One
No,
right. There's no second chances once you're dead. That's it. You
that's
done did
it.
it. She
Exactly.
said you got
Exactly.
scared straight. I love it. I love it. You
Mhm.
know, I'm enjoying chatting with you because, I didn't have any kids, and thank God at the time I did not, but having what you've gone through, have you started counseling those that have or are going through parents with addiction?
Well, not as a set counselor. And what I mean by that is, I'm gonna say what my husband always says: friendship is counseling. So I have a lot of friends, and a lot of us in the ministry have come together because of our testimonies, which is amazing. And I know you could testify that when you have ordained destinations, the people you're supposed to meet, the places you're supposed to go, all of that comes
Yes.
together. And so that's what our ministry represents. So many of us have so many similarities in our testimonies, coming from different walks of life, but walking the same path to salvation. And so
Yes.
we met each other, and people who come into the ministry, they cling to us because we look like them. We look like them. We know how to
You've
minister
been
to
through.
them.
That's
So
right.
we pass the communities, Dr. Black. We pass the communities because we know that we have testimonies too. And so we want to reach people based on saying, look, if I got through it, you certainly can get through it. And the people,
Amen.
that's what the youth love about our ministry the most, because they're like,
Yeah.
hey, they're not judging us. They just want better for us.
Better
So
for us. Those of you that are just checking in, welcome to tonight's Aroundtown.live. I'm your host, Dr. Liz Black. Monique has put it up. I got it scrolling across the bottom, but she made it very plain and clear and spelled everything out. And that's what we need. We need you to make sure you're following Pastor Pasha, and we
let's
want you
go,
to
Pastor
get the
Monique.
book.
That's my little sis.
Let's get the book. Let me put it up on the screen. You can get that. Pastor Pasha, where can we pick up the book?
So the thing is, it has not come out yet, but I'm gearing towards March because my dad's birthday is March 28th. And so I
Yeah.
would like for it to, debut in March. March 5th, I'll be married 19 years. So,
Congratulations.
it's just, it's time to get out there. It's time for people to be able to hear how I
Mm-hmm.
got through it and know that they're not alone. They could get through it too. It's very tough. Um, and it's the road is bumpy, but if you have the tools to get through things, and prayer is one of them.
Yes.
Prayer is the main, and that's how you get through. So I'm just here to be the voice, be open arms for those who need just that love, because
Yeah.
you never know. Also, I want to just mention, Dr. Liz, because oftentimes the addict has a way to be rehabilitated, but the children don't. And so you don't really hear about what
Yeah.
happens to the children after the fact. And so
Yes.
you have to take care of your little siblings, because your mom is not home or your dad is not home. They're strung out, and you have to fend for yourself. You have to make sure you go to school. And those traumas follow you into adulthood if you don't heal from
Yeah.
them. And so
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like now it's our turn to say, no, we can't heal. No, you can heal. You don't have to be bound by your past or, anything that happened to you in your youth. You know, that's very important. Children should have a path to be rehabilitated because they're traumatized by the experience, you know?
Yeah.
And those of us who grew up in these urban areas where it's drug infestation, it's everywhere. It's in your home, it's in your friends' homes, it's in your schools sometimes, it's everywhere. And so it's like, no, we have to save us.
Yes. I agree.
That
Sister-in-law, look, you got a lot of fans that love you. Your sister-in-law is like, look, she got another book. and it's on Amazon. Y'all get it, and it's
So
called Bad Dreams Are Not Allowed. Y'all get on over there and pick that book up while we're waiting for the other one to come out in a few months. And I tell you, Pastor Pasha, I'm on Amazon Live as a host. So we can actually
wow,
go on there live on Amazon and sell your book right while we're
wow,
talking. And whoever's on Amazon Live at the time will be able to hear this testimony, be able to pick up your book. So that's something you might want to consider us doing
that's
when it
awesome.
actually comes out. But let's
Yes,
go over there and pick up the other book now in the meantime and support, because I believe that Pastor Pasha, she has a word that she is sharing. I still had a couple more questions I want to ask you before we go.
sure,
Um,
sure.
do you have children yourself?
Oh my gosh, Dr. Black, how could I not mention my children?
That's okay. You
There's
did well. I know
one,
you had Timmy, because she came
Timmy.
on.
Yes, no, Timmy Chris is my oldest. She's 18. She's at Howard University. Um,
HU. That's what my husband would
you
say.
know. And so I have a 17-year-old who's a senior, Jessica Ann. Um, so Timmy Chris, let me go back. Timmy Chris is
Wait,
named after
wait.
my
You don't have to
husband.
mention anymore. She said she's really the important one.
You know
So I
what?
guess there's no need for
Yes,
anyone.
Timmy.
She said the
So
important one.
so Timmy is named after my husband and my sister-in-law. You see Dr. Chris on. And then Jessica Ann is named after my other sister-in-law, Allison. Um, Tatiana Inez is named after my husband's grandmother. And then my
Okay.
baby, Kylie Merlene, is named after my husband's mom. And so, sorry, Trisha, but is my other sister. But the family is the most important thing to me, because I
Amen.
didn't have family structure growing up. And so, there's so many things that can add to your trauma, though you're not
Yeah.
bound by it. You still have to talk about it, because that's the only way you remain thankful and grateful.
Mm.
Family is very important to me. And coming to the ministry, even before I got married, coming to the ministry, I learned a lot about family through my husband's family. They
Amen.
embraced me. They embraced me just like they embraced everyone in the ministry. They took us to their family homes in the summer. We were able to just be a part of their family and feel loved. And I never knew love like that. And so when I got married, it was even better,
Beautiful.
So yes, it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's
It,
amazing.
it's been a beautiful, it appears to be a beautiful journey when you look at where you are now and what God has brought you from. Could everybody just take a moment and type in family is everything? Can y'all just do that? Because there are some that maybe their families aren't as close, but to be able to connect with you now, to be able to read your book, that will cause people to feel that closeness in
Right.
understanding these things. So it's great that you have a chance to come on, and that I find a lot of times when people have had childhoods that may not have been fabulous as
Mhm.
we would think, they make sure when they have a family that family is tight, right,
That's right.
and the unity and the love is overflowing.
That's right. That's everything you just said is how my husband and I raise our daughters. We say the parents we desire to have, the childhood we desire to have, we give our
Yes.
children. And that
Yes.
would make us the best parents for them. Because it's like, no, we know how to be great parents because we know what we desired as children. And
Yes.
that's what I love about the book. My book is not a typical book. It has my
Yeah.
journey, but it also has the lessons I learned from it. So I'm
Amen.
telling you certain things, but I'm also speaking to you as a pastor through my experience. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I learned after this happened. I didn't have to go through this in order to learn that. So here, you take my experience and don't go through that,
And have
you
to,
know?
right. So is that
You know,
what you want people to get out of the book? I mean, after they sit and read it, what do you want them to feel? How do you want them to share it with others? What would you like?
they're going to understand the birthing of my apostleship through the book. They're going to understand apostleship. Apostle meaning sent one. It's the Greek word apostolos. It means sent out. So apostle, Pastor Pasha, is I'm sent out to pastor communities. And
Yeah,
as I do that, people are going to feel my love for them and know that I'm here for them, not just via words, but via actions. I can
yeah,
speak to what they're dealing with because I've been there. I've been there. I've been there, blood, sweat, and tears in the prayers. I've been there dealing with things that I had to go through on my own and only having Yahweh to get through. And so it's like, no, you can't stand up again. You may have been knocked down quite a few times, but you can stand up again and you will survive. So what I want people to take from the book is to understand that it's just a journey. But in the journey, you keep going. You don't stop. You don't
mm-hmm.
stop. You keep going,
and
you know?
and that's really what you want people to get out of it, because sometimes you go through things and it is easier to give up. But we
Yes.
can't give up if the greater one resides inside of us. We have to continue to push because we have hope. We know
Right.
that this isn't our permanent position, it's just
Yes.
temporary. So, my prayer is when people read this book, is that they have an understanding that it doesn't matter what they go through, that there's hope. And you're giving your situation of what you went through, and look where you are now, a pastor, being you and your husband
Mhm.
bishop shepherding others so that they can
Yes.
be free. And that's huge, instead of you getting caught up in everything that was going on. And we're grateful that this book will be coming out in March, and we pray that those of you that are here are sharing this interview. I made sure we did that. I wasn't asking everybody to come to my page so I could build up. I want y'all to disperse and let people get this message. And so that it's not just for my people or just for Pastor Pasha's, but push it out there, y'all, so people can hear
Yes.
and know about this book. Thank you. Let's push it out. Let's let people know.
Healing is global. That's what we want. Healing is
Yeah.
global. And we're speaking healing, we're preaching healing, we're living healing, we're
Yes.
singing healing, dancing healing, we're rapping healing, we're writing healing. Everything about us is all about the healing that is supposed to take place in our lives so that someone else can be healed. And I
Yes.
applaud you, Dr. Black. You are definitely an inspiration. I am grateful that you are alive and that Yahweh brought
Amen.
you through what he brought you through.
Yes,
You
he
have
did.
so much more that you are going to do. I'm just,
He
don't mind me, but I got to speak it as I get it. But Yahweh is going to take you global, going to take you further than where you are, because
mm,
you have created an avenue for people to heal. That's big. And so
thank
expect
God.
something major to come your way for being obedient to Christ. Your healing is obedience. It's more than just deliverance from addiction. It's
Yeah.
obedience. You obey the word and got healed. That's different.
Yes.
Different.
Yes.
So
Jesus. That's right. That's
yes,
right. And then
that's
I
right.
went running because I want everybody else to know about him. I want everybody else
Yes,
to be free, because it's
yes.
it was bondage. I'm sorry that your dad went through it, and we don't know why or what the root was, or we don't
Mm,
know. But we know that it
yes.
affected his life and he wasn't able to have it more abundantly.
Mm,
And
mm.
you're letting people know, no matter what you're going through, you can still have life and have it more abundantly and come out and look as good and beautiful as you,
As us.
as us. Yeah,
As us.
that it is possible. It is
It is
possible.
possible.
So this has been a wonderful time. I look forward to when the book comes out. Let's just go on Facebook Live and really take it global. Not that we aren't right now, because we're on
Mhm.
3 Facebook pages. We're on YouTube. we're on X, and we're on Instagram right now. So we are happy to have those of you that tuned in. I want you to follow Pastor Pasha on Facebook and Instagram. Follow her. Go ahead. It's Pastor Pasha Pernell under Facebook, and under IG, Pastor Pasha. Monique, where are you again? Because you wrote it out all nice and beautiful. I'll put it up again if you grab it and put it back up there again. So, what
Oh,
would
she definitely.
how
I'm
many
sorry,
things?
Dr. Black.
Go ahead.
One more. One more.
Sure.
She got to put up there, Y'all Squad. Y'all
Wait,
Squad.
wait. Let me tell you something. I remember one of your young men came up to me at Circle of Sisters, or I heard
Yes.
them rapping, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Can I bring y'all on the stage?" And they was like, "Hold it!" They knew they had to run to their bishop and they had to run to their pastor because they couldn't just go. Because I was ready to grab them right then and there and take them up there, and they were amazing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We enjoy what we do because the testimonies that Yahweh has given us, He deserves the glory from it. And so we give it in every way possible. Every way
Yeah,
possible. There's so many people in Yah Squad from every career
yeah,
background,
yeah,
every nationality. And so we're about unity because the name of Yahshua unifies. The name of Yahweh unifies. And so we live it. We breathe it. It's just who we are because we're so
yeah,
thankful because it could have turned
yeah,
out differently, but it
yeah,
didn't. Didn't.
yeah. I'm just really
And
grateful that you've come on and shared your testimony today. I think it's so important then um that we don't just keep what God has done for us for ourselves. He didn't do it for us to just keep it and be quiet. Anything he
yes,
does to bring us out, deliver us, is so that we can share it, that others can be free also. So thank you for sharing your book. We know that it's coming out in March. There's another book that y'all could take a look at while we wait for this one to come out. And make sure you're following because she's going to post when it's coming out. We want it to become a New York Times bestseller, and we can do that
absolutely.
in Jesus' name. They want you to
Speak
kick a
that
rhyme.
into existence.
They,
Speak that into
wait,
existence.
yeah, oh,
That's
why
my
not?
husband. He's
Why
my
not?
manager. He wants
Yeah, well, your manager is saying kick some rhymes out there. They want to hear
you
some
know it.
lyrics.
You know it.
And I did hear you at Circle of Sisters. You did get a little something, something in. But how can you not be here with me tonight? It's you, and you can do it. You got the platform.
Let's go.
Like
Let's go.
boy. Let's do
From
it.
a child of an addict to a child of a king, from single mother to a wife, Satan kissed the ring. From a house of depression to a home full of laughter, from being shackled in my sin to becoming the pastor. Hey, I didn't want it, but Yahweh said to become it. I'm telling you something, grace and obedience, so don't run from it. I had to see where my head was at. So I took upon myself the mind of Christ, had to scratch that. I couldn't see because my vision was blurry from myself. Growing weary and well doing, got worried, but I laughed and he well. And yes, I grow strong. And then now I
Uh,
heard his voice said to hold on, make it happen, just like you did when you started rapping. It took faith to lyrics, the lyrics down the folks are clapping. You ask me, won't he do it? Yes, he'll do it. Already done it, and now I'm having fun with it, keeping it one.
y'all better
That's
come on. Let me see some fire. For real. Let me see some fire, y'all, in the chat. Go ahead. Put the
look
fire
what
up.
I found for you. Look what I found for you.
What is that?
That's
Oh,
me and you.
I
That's me and
see.
you. It's
I remember.
2019.
That was 2019.
Yes. Circle of
Lord,
Sisters. I said, I gotta find it and show
I
her.
remember. I remember. Lord knows, I wish I could still get in that outfit. I have it hanging right over there. Oh my gosh. It was, I remember your group. I remember the closeness that the young people had also when you
Yes.
came, how unified they were. And I just love that. And I think it's so important that we keep them close. And it seems like
Yes.
you and Bishop are doing a good job and keeping them close because what's out here is not to give them life, but give
Mm,
them death. And what you all
right.
are doing is keeping them close. So I commend you both, and I thank you and your family, everybody that came on today. Y'all, I love y'all. And
We love
we
you. We
look
love you.
forward.
We love
I
you.
love you. And we'll come look when the book comes out, we go into Amazon. We're gonna
Let's
go
go.
on Amazon and talk about your book. So
We
I
gonna
love
take it.
y'all. Everybody,
Yes.
y'all, everybody on here. I love y'all and thank you for this night. If I didn't get your post up, it's because there's so many and I'm going cross-eyed. But thank you. I'm getting them all up and we're going to continue to keep pastor and bishop in prayer as they continue to go to the highways and the byways and under alleys and in alleys and under all kinds of stuff to find those that may be um just unable to lift their head right now.
Mm,
But because
mm.
you come in with life, they can lift their head. So I am grateful for this opportunity. Y'all, we're going to do this again in a couple months. When Pastor gets her book out, we'll go on, we'll go live and we'll turn it out and let people know that Jesus is Lord and that you can have life and have it more abundantly and that there is hope. Anything you want to say before we leave?
Yeah, squad. We love you guys. We love you, Dr. Black. Babe, I love
Love
you.
you
I love all of
too.
my girls. I love my
Oh,
everything. And thank you so much for having me here on your platform. It means a great deal to me. It means a great deal to us. So I'm looking forward to seeing you real soon. You got to come out and fellowship with us one time at the church
I
and
will.
just have a ball.
Yes,
Have a
I
ball.
want to do that. I do.
Yes.
And thank you. The love has been real on tonight. And I couldn't have asked for a better interview. So thank you. And we'll be in touch and I'll see you real soon.
Indeed, indeed. God
Okay.
bless you.
All right. You know I
Yes.
got
Bye
nothing
bye.
but love for y'all. And until next time, go in peace, grow in grace. Don't just go to church.